What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott. And if I'm sweating, I look like shit, it's because I just got done running with the overcompensated shirt that says run on it. But as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about if long distance relationships work, okay? Why I don't think they usually work a lot of the time and how to make them work. I'm going to make this a pretty fast video because it's pretty self-explanatory, okay? But before we even get into it, can you please subscribe below? Click the red button. And if you want to check out my free ebook, it's in the description, 254 pages, absolutely free. It talks about everything we talk about in my videos. And of course, if you want to email or phone session with yours truly, it's in the description also. So, why do I think long distance relationships not work? Okay, why do they not work a lot of the time? For the most part, it's several things. One, I want to talk about insecurities, right? When you're in a long distance relationship, a lot of people's insecurities magnified to the 100th degree, right? A lot of people are in relationships when they shouldn't be in one. When they, just because you want to be in one and you really like someone, it doesn't mean you deserve to be in one. Not everyone deserves to be in a relationship. You have to be a certain type of person, I think, to have a healthy or to maintain a happy, healthy, loving relationship. You have to be a confident, high self-esteem, just happy individual. Don't use a relationship to fill your voids, because if you do, long distance relationships won't work. Anyway, I'm going off topic there a little bit. A lot of long distance relationships usually bring out the worst in people in terms of, if you're supposed to be texting back and forth all the time, I'll get on that in a little bit. And when he's not texting you, your insecurities come out. You start getting upset. Why isn't he texting me all the time, right? We're in a long distance relationship. What the hell's going on? And then one of you eventually are going to play mind games with each other, and you're not going to text until he texts, and then more tension happens. Or he was supposed to Skype with you, but he couldn't because of whatever excuse he makes. Probably a bullshit excuse, right? And then you get mad. You have the right to get mad, but then you take it back out on him. And you guys start arguing. And you have to remember, all this arguing isn't going to do anything because you have nothing on top to bring you back together, okay? You're at a long distance relationship. You have to keep the arguing and red flags to a minimum, and it's really hard to do that when you have a lot of insecurities, neediness, cleanness, whatever it is, right? And all these red flags just keep on colliding, and you eventually lose attraction with each other. Now, going back to what I said, you have nothing to build it back up, right here. Usually in a relationship, you have ups and downs, right? You might argue, but again, a guy can do something to make it up for you much easier in person. Maybe he takes you out, maybe you see his body language, his gestures, maybe he's sincere about his apology, whatever. It can bring it back up, right? Or just the chemistry alone will do something like that. But at the same time, you have, when you're at a distance, you don't have that attraction to bring it back up. It's really hard to do that. Guys are very visual to begin with. They're very visual. And I don't mean that in just a sexual way, but a guy's a provider. He's a satisfier. That's his natural ego. That's his natural goal with women in relationships and attraction. He likes to be, his ego is based off how well he can satisfy the opposite sex. And if he's with you, he loves seeing your smile. He loves seeing what his actions do to you, how you react to it, right? He loves being the provider, the satisfier. He loves, not even sexual. He loves making love to you, sure. But it's just not that. It's the touch, the smell, things like that. Guys love that, okay? And at the same time, you're over here and you might like the idea of the emotional connection. And it's really hard getting that emotional chemistry or that bond when you're not in person, okay? So you might look for another guy for that. And at the same time, a guy might be over here, and both of you are having all these like tendencies, or all these you want to talk to these other girls but you can't, or he wants to talk to these other girls but he can't, and maybe you want to talk to these other guys but you can't. And what I always say about guys, there's only two reasons a guy will not date you. It's other women, and he doesn't like you. Like, he's not what you're looking for, or you're not what he's looking for. And guess what happens in a relationship? He doesn't want to be in that long distance relationship. It's because it's long distance. He'd rather you be here. So right there, it's not something he wants. And secondly, other women. He has other women here he can visually see. He can touch, smell, satisfy, provide for. And again, I don't mean that sexually. He just, just seeing other women smile and be happy and like flirt with him and feed his ego. It's really hard for you to do it when you're over here. Okay, so that's why a lot of the times relationships don't work. It's not what the guy wants. There's other women. You both have a lot of insecurities. And finally, most importantly, I would say, is a lot of red flags come out when you are in a long distance relationship. So what I mean by that is, usually when you're at God, it is hot in here. Look at me sweating. Well, I just got done running a couple miles like a fucking boss. Look at that, boss mode. That's small. I gotta work on those. But that is really a small muscle. Holy shit. But for the most part, if you read my book or my other video, or if you watch my other videos, I talk a lot about how you shouldn't be texting all day, every day, how you shouldn't be having conversations through text, how you shouldn't be trying to hang out with him all day, every day, or trying to hang out with him a majority of the week. That just turns a guy off, okay? And a lot of people feel like they have to be like that in a long distance relationship, that you have to text all day, every day, that you have to have conversations, that you have to call each other every night or majority of the nights, and you don't. And that is what ruins it. To a guy, that becomes more of a chore. He can't really differentiate. Oh, I almost said that wrong. Maybe I did. But he can't really differentiate, the difference between, I could try it, right? We're gonna make a long video if I try that, but his brain can't tell the difference between you here and then you there. Like, he knows, right? But texting all day, every day, sending him a cute little good morning, good nights, and have long conversations throughout the day, no matter distance wise, that's annoying, and that's a needy and clingy tendency. Did I just spit there? But and the guys aren't about that, okay? So, you're not only all those other things I said, but you're also revealing red flags day after day, one after another. And to a guy, it becomes more of a chore because he's losing that attraction to begin with because of the distance, right? It's just not what a guy wants. And so when he's scrolling, he's seeing all these things, even though he likes you, it's just like, oh, God, like, fuck. It feels like a chore texting back to a woman. So what do you do? In my opinion, I would say actually step back on a lot of things and work on quality. What I mean by that is, don't try to text him all day, every day until you guys meet again, okay? Fuck that good night shit. Fuck that good morning stuff and texting everything in between. Screw it. What you guys need to do is have a set time, I would say, for Skype sessions, right? I would say talk 3 times, 4 times a week, and have a Skype session. Go about your different lives. Guys love when a woman has a life, okay? Just as you probably like a guy has a life himself, okay? Like, you don't want a guy being a clingy, needy little bitch. You want him to have his own life and come to you. And when he comes to you, he gives you the best, awesome, quality time together that he could possibly give someone, right? He gives you the gift of time. And I would say for a 95%, 99% maybe of long distance relationships, that they would do better if they just put 3 or 4 days a week, hour session, or maybe a little longer, right? I wouldn't go too long because then again it just gets like, oh, okay. But where you're just sitting down, relaxing, and you're talking on Skype, and your job on there is to hang out, have fun, and hook up, okay? Hook up, do whatever you girls want. I don't know. I don't Skype with people. I don't know what you, or girlfriends, I don't know what you guys do on Skype to get all dirty and nasty and stuff, but do that, okay? Do that. Have some close conversations. Have some dinners together over Skype. Watch a movie together on Netflix. Have little things like that, okay? You don't need to be texting the guy all day, every day. It will annoy the shit out of him. Work on minimizing the quantity and focusing on the quality. With that being said, ladies, I love you. Take care. If you're in a long distance relationship, I'm sorry. I hate them. I've been in a couple, but we never Skyped. I mean, when I say long distance, I mean like 3 hours. I'll just drive out there because I'm a boss. That's what you do. That's the man of the house. No, I'm just kidding. But I'll let you guys, you just focus on the quality, okay? A lot of people focus too much on quantity, and then they realize why a guy starts to pull away and lose attraction. That's why. I love you, ladies. Take care. Peace.